So let me say this. The guy that was killed today, or assassinated, I guess you could say, I can't even remember his name. Is it Charlie Kirk? I don't know anything about him. I literally had to Google him, like, because people were like losing their mind, like, it's like some celebrity or something. So I had to look him up. I'd never heard of the guy. So like I commented on one person's page, regardless of your political beliefs, that's no reason to be shot down. And apparently there are people who are celebrating this. It's just wrong. Then you had the young, I think she was 22, 23, 24, I can't remember, 23 I think, the refugee from Ukraine. And this one hits home because, see, for me, I worked with World Relief for about a year, and that is what we specialized in, was refugee resettlement. And for those of you that are ignorant, that is people who are here legally. They are here legally. They have paid their dues. They have gotten into the country legally. And for that to happen to that poor girl and to that poor family is sickening. But these are all things that are reverberations of our culture and where we're at. And let me emphasize that, we were warned by our ancestors and our people who came before us, okay? So let me clarify too, when I say ancestors, I'm talking about white, black, everybody. I don't think we understand where our culture is at. Like, we're really sick. The culture is very sick right now. The country is very sick. If you really dig deep into this, it's like there's a strong lack of morality. It's like the sense of right and wrong has been lost. We also have gotten to the point collectively where we basically say the things that are wrong are right, and the things that are right are wrong. And it's absurdity. It's conflicting. And it's not helping us. Again, we were warned by folks like my grandparents, and probably even before that, we were warned through the generations, don't lose your morality. Don't leave out God. Don't lose your sight of right and wrong. All of these things. Because as soon as you lose sight of right and wrong, as soon as God is out of the picture, there's no structure. There's no authority. I mean, that's blatantly been shown that it's I listened to a teaching by Derek Prince that we listened to at my church. And he was talking about the occult. But a spirit of rebellion is very much a satanic thing. That spirit of rebellion is very much a means by which people fight against God. And I think anybody that knows fighting against God is the world's greatest absurdity. There's no such fight to win. It's an unwinnable fight. So we were warned of this. And yes, what we're seeing is sickening, it's sad, it's hurtful. But we were warned. We were warned what would happen if we lose our morality, if we forget about God, if we forget about right and wrong, if we fail to hold people accountable. And you've got to think that along with society's disregard for authority, there's also the fact that the authority won't hold people accountable. And thus we have behaviors that continue and continue and continue and get worse and worse and worse. Cussing someone out turns into tearing up their car. Tearing up their car turns into burning down their house. Burning down their house turns into murdering them. This is not okay. Some of the pieces of this are very much echoing the late 60s, the late 1960s. And it's apparent that we're sick as a society and we're in trouble. Seek right and wrong. Seek God. Seek morality, ethics, those things. Don't allow yourself to be blinded by the absurdity and the backwardsness of our culture currently. We have to come back to God. That's it. We have to come back to God. And we have to come back to right and wrong. We have to come back to morality. We have to come back to the value of human life. We have to come back to the respect of authority. We have to come back to being our brother's keeper. We have to come back around to some sanity. Aside from that, like I said, if I'm saying his name wrong, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Charlie Kirk, I believe, was his name. Condolences and prayers and thoughts to his family. And I cannot remember the young girl's name that was murdered here in Charlotte. That like I said, that one really hits home for me. Knowing she was a refugee, and the fact that the guy has 14 mugshots, has been just, even his mother said he was schizophrenic. He had no business being on the streets. But the system, again, failed that poor girl and her family. Aside from seeking morality and all the other stuff I mentioned and seeking God, we need to advocate and we need to seek reform for our broken system. Better legislation, better accountability, all of the above. With her and her family, condolences and prayers and thoughts with them, as well as the entire refugee community. Because in my head, my mind goes towards, was this a hate crime? And, you know, one can make arguments about a lot of the crimes committed that they're hate crimes. Anyway, that's all I got. Yeah. Some of y'all need to get your heads out the sand. Quick. I'm telling you. Or wherever your head is at that you can't see. Better lift up the blinds. Pull back the shades. Something. People talk about being woke. You better wake up. Because the woke that I'm hearing about is about the blindest woke I've ever seen. Wake up. You know, tomorrow is 24 years since 9/11. And I remember that day vividly. Vividly. So all I'll say is, don't take this thing for granted. Don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted, and don't play with it, because our country's valuable. All of our people here in this country are valuable. Every last soul in this country is valuable. That's it, folks. As for me, I got to be up in the morning, and I just got off work, and it's like 10:45 at night, and I got to be at work at 6:45 in the morning. So, yeah. That's it. Blessings. And peace to you. So this is an add-on to the video I made on the 10th that will probably be combined with this one, because at this moment I have not released either of these videos, but this is kind of an add-on to that. Last night I watched the uncut footage of Charlie Kirk being assassinated, and I watched the footage of the young refugee girl from Ukraine being murdered on the subway. Now it blurred out her face and the incision or the stab wounds, but I saw enough to see how it transpired and the aftermath. And I'm not going to get into the graphics. I don't think I should. But I will say this. I was about to eat a snack as I'm watching these, and I wasn't expecting to lose my appetite, but I almost lost my appetite. And I have not felt a vibe or a feeling like that from watching something like that since I watched the footage of George Floyd being murdered by the cops. So that should put it into perspective, at least from my perspective. And these are even though they're highlighted incidents, these are isolated incidents in the sense of there's a whole lot of other stuff happening in this country. There's a whole lot of other tragic, ugly things happening. Murders, school shootings, you name it. And, and I think I mentioned, in the case of the guy who murdered the girl on the train or subway or whatever it was, he was schizophrenic. And so you've got mental health awareness, not just awareness, but making the system work. The judicial system, the mental health system, all of these things. You have, even with, the one that was assassinated, that was, regardless of some of his rhetoric and vitriol of which he spoke, it still, you just don't go around murdering people. That's it. And if that's the age in which we live, then we've really got to create an upheaval of society, a massive upheaval, to protect our democracy, to protect our freedoms, to protect ourselves, and to redevelop and revamp and reconstruct a system that will work for the people. So that's all I got. I just wanted to share that last tidbit of, basically just how it felt watching the footage. And like I said, my prayer is that we, get it together, as people, period, that we get it together, because it's just, we've got to get it together. We've got to get a hold of some morality and some better understanding of right and wrong, because the way we're functioning as a society right now is complete absurdity.